Hello everybody, thank you for joining me here today, and I was inspired this morning to do a video, and it's been a while since I've been on this channel, but I said no, I need to get out to one of these most gorgeous places here on Long Island. It's viewing the Long Island Sound, and it's just a cool 63 degree but lovely sunny and blustery day, as Winnie the Pooh would say. And the question that kind of came to my mind as I was doing my journaling this morning is, why do I believe what I believe? And if you're following this channel, of course, it's about this shift of consciousness that we're going through right now. So I realized that the first thing that came to me was the foundation of it all, which to me, it all comes down to our relationship with God, Gaia, the cosmos, and the relationship with ourselves. And in all of my work, I've been enlightened by the teaching that the landscape is a mirror of ourselves. And that came to me in my work in feng shui, and it continues to inspire me every day. Looking on the outside gives us a clue to what's going on inside of us. And that's a big proponent of, quote unquote, new age thinking, right? That we create, we manifest everything from the inner to the outer, and what we experience in the outer world is a reflection of what we experience on the inner. So that, I feel, is the foundation of where we are right now as humanity and the challenges that we're facing. And this existential crisis that we find ourselves in is a reflection of this severed relationship between us and God, us and the earth, nature, and also within ourselves. A lack of understanding who we are, or even taking the time to ponder ourselves, why we're here, what truly makes us happy, and living our best life. So I'm just referring to some notes that I took. So if you look around, if you've been here for several decades, you'll realize that this existential crisis is an environmental crisis. Really, that is the background to all of our other crises on this planet. We're not taking care of Mother Earth, we're not taking care of ourselves, and that lack of connection and relationship is reflected in everything that we create as a collective on this planet. So really, if we take care of that one little thing, this environmental crisis, I and many people are of the belief that everything else will fall into place. So, moving from this fear to love. But really, throughout my lifetime, I was born in the 60s. What I have become aware of is this understanding of, or misconception, that we're running toward a cliff, and that it will eventually become an apocalypse, that we will live in a doomed world. And we see that reflected to us in all of pop culture. And the first time I saw, I think it was the first apocalyptic movie, Soylent Green. I talk about this because it was at that point in my life, and I was, I think, 13, and I just said, that will not be my future. It was my first kind of stake in the ground that I said, I don't believe this. I'm not going to live in this world, that this will happen. And I think so many of us have felt that we would live during these times, and here we are. So the more awakened, shall I say, to this idea, people have been doing some amazing, brave, courageous work to help the environment, and trying to awaken other people to this knowledge. And it really hasn't gone anywhere, has it? What when we read about the headlines of what's happening on our planet as far as the environment goes, I think a lot of us close down. We maybe just deny it. We think it's a conspiracy, perhaps, or we just go like, how could I, my little self, do anything to change what's happening on this planet? And I think we can say that for any headlines that we're reading today. It's like, how is it possible that I could do anything? And yeah, we either close down to it, we ignore it, or often people go into a deep depression. And I've spoken with many people that have come to that point in their lives on my podcast, The Enchanted Earth, which is another YouTube channel. And if you're interested in this, I think you would find a lot of really wonderful, beautiful stories that will help uplift you. So, reading about these statistics of where we are with the environment and how bad things are getting contributes to adding more fear and anxiety and a sense of doom. And I'm just seeing somebody take a walk on the beach down there, and I love that. I'll probably be down there in a few moments. So rather than awakening people and getting people to act, it's doing the opposite. Sure, there are people that will spring into action, absolutely. But I think the majority of people just shut down even more. And if you're fearful, that survival instinct, anxiety, depression, despair, and retreating more into ourselves. And it's not really helping. Although I think we need to be aware of what's happening, to the glaciers, to the extinction of animals, to the acceleration of everything that's going on. I think the pain that we feel is so great that it does the opposite. Those, you would think people would wake up. So, I think, and I've been introduced to this by many, many, many people that I have followed over the years in books and podcasts, that we need to adjust our strategy. And we can really benefit from moving from this fear-based strategy to a love-based strategy. And I know that may sound very, new agey and hippie, talking about love, but yeah, that's what we're here for. So, I feel that this just resonates with me so much, because we really need to flip the paradigm completely. We can really, I think, move the needle with more people when we share our love for this planet. When we ourselves go out and share our love for what we have around us. This beautiful breeze, this sunny day, the sound of the trees, and hopefully it's not too loud for you, but really appreciating and loving the nature we have around us. Because yes, there are traumatized places on this planet, and like I said, species that are under the threat of extinction, and all those things, the water that's polluted, so many issues. But there's so much beauty. There is so much to be grateful for. And gratitude is the hugest, I think, mover and shaker. Sharing our gratitude for what we have on this beautiful planet. And I think that is really the key. So simple, yet can be really challenging for some people. So what I do in my work, I am just so inspired by the Enchanted Earth podcast and the people that I'm meeting there and hearing their beautiful, moving stories in nature. Sometimes very mystical, sometimes very approachable, and something we all experience in our everyday lives. So I suggest you go over to that channel after this, and I'll put a link. So that is one way that I'm hoping to contribute, because it's not only listening to these stories that people share, it's remembering our own and contemplating them. And when we do that, there is a ripple effect because our heart just naturally opens. And that's one thing that I did speak with somebody on my podcast when she talked about opening her heart. I said, can you explain how you did that? And we did actually a little short on that, which I'll post below too. Because it's like words that we use all the time, like open your heart. Well, what does that really mean? Open your heart. So when we are grateful for something in our lives, that opens our heart. When we look around and we just feel love, of course, not just for nature, but anyone in our lives or anything that comes into our mind that we love, so much benefit we can receive to our bodies. And also we're sending that out. We're sending those frequencies of love out into the earth and the planet. And in short, I didn't have a closing for this, but really, in short, it's moving from feeling fear to feeling love and really appreciating what is around us and feeling real, genuine love. So I hope this helps you in your life today. And I really do think this is the movement that is going to really take hold. And this is what the shift in consciousness is all about, is to feeling that true love and gratitude for others, for the planet, that will shift everything. Because once we are open to that love and gratitude, everything does shift. Our reality shifts. The earth, we will, when people open up to that love and gratitude, it will change their behavior. It just occurred to me, one of the things in feng shui we say is, it's not moving the furniture that's going to change something in your life. It's moving the furniture in a way that reminds you to have a different perspective, and that will change your behavior, and that will change your future. So I'll leave it at that. Move a little furniture and remind yourself that you're making a shift. You're making a physical shift, and that love will just go out, and we will manifest a new reality, and we will not go down that path of doom. I know for sure we're not. It just occurred to me, something I wanted to add is that I know just shifting to love and gratitude isn't the whole story. So I know a lot of people who are truly environmentalists in the traditional sense of the word, and they love our planet and they grieve for our planet. I think the missing piece is that we need to feel more of the love and the gratitude and not get sucked into the spiral or the vortex of fear and anxiety. Our bodies can't handle that amount of stress. And like I said, check out my Enchanted Earth podcast. Actually, one I'll link below is a woman named Rewilding with Holly, and she shares her movement from being an environmental scientist and feeling great depression and moving into this space that I'm talking about. So you can hear a little bit more from her perspective. So yeah, so I hope you have a beautiful day, and look at the links below. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in.